Welcome back to the show. Now we're getting into our Inglorious Basterds review. And to start the overview, this is a 2009 war film written and directed by Quentin Tarantino, starring Brad Pitt, Christopher Waltz, Michael Fasbender, Eli Roth, and Diane Kruger. The film tells an alternate history story of two plots to assassinate Nazi Germany's leadership. It had a budget of $70 million and brought in $321.5 million to the box office. Also had an 89% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and also had 8 Academy Award nominations. To start it off, I mean, what were your initial thoughts on the film? I mean, this is one, like we said, it's different. It has the historical elements, but it also has that humor and just sharp dialogue that Quentin Tarantino
Yeah.
all have.
You know what I loved about this movie the most is the patience
Yes, it's
through
build up.
scenes, the builds up, and sometimes that could get like you get antsy. But how it was shot, the patience between the dialogue and the shooting, the interaction with the characters, it
Yeah.
kind of give you a wide scope of how these characters are, especially Colonel Hans Landa. And
Oh yeah.
the opening scene, you could just tell how smart Konami he was, how like patient he was as a character to just like I already know the truth, but I'm just gonna put this out. I'm gonna like slow play it, and then we're gonna get down to nitty gritty. And when it got to the action, we were not disappointed. But I love the patience within the scene, allow the scene to unfold. Is what I love.
Yes.
I love the most about this film, and it was shot beautifully. I mean, Tarantino he I mean he's the he does the
He's the
hero shot
master
a
of
lot.
that.
Yeah, master. He does the hero shot, master of the pan, master of the jump cuts
Mhm.
within movies. So yeah, this was shot beautifully, but I love the patience and letting the scene develop and not
Yeah.
trying to go to each scene and try to get as much as you can, even though it was a longer movie.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, there's always like to you when a filmmaker has that. Like Tarantino has always had that patience and always been able to just like even for extended films know how to like build it up and like have escalation in certain scenes. Where
Yeah.
do you think that comes from? Do you think Tarantino just kind of like maybe from an early because maybe from his earlier films mastered that, or one of those things where just a trait where he just kind of always kind of like assembled it and knew it was going to be important if he was going to be a successful director.
I think the older films did that a lot. They didn't,
He loves older films. Yeah,
yeah,
he's a big one.
older films took their time and let the dialogue and let the scene develop and not try to get to hurry to get to the climax of the movie and try to develop the plot quick and fast. They were
Yeah.
always like slow playing it and just looking at The Godfather, just thinking about
Yes.
those scenes. It was such a slow developing scene, but the
And you don't get bored.
dialogue.
You
Yeah,
don't
you
get
don't
bored at
get
all.
bored because you know it's a lot of going on, but it makes sure your attention is drawn to what should be noticed. And this
Yeah.
film does it too, because you can look at how he was shot, how how they were moving, how they was talking about, do you mind if I smoke? And then he pulled out a pipe that just looked like looked like it should blow bubbles. It was just like those little nuances of the scene that developed because they took their time to be able to do that, and it added to the character because
Yeah.
he did. It was so many things that yeah. So I'm pretty
Stand
sure he
out.
learned
Yeah.
that from from the older films and kind of adapted to it and kind of made it his own in a different way. If that makes
Absolutely.
sense. Yeah.
And now getting to our first topic for 1 to 4 stars, what would you give it? I would give it four because to me it had the right balance of being a wartime weapon, but also an elemental force, and just the study and suspense was at an extremely high level rate. And like we said, the clever dialogue it works for every film of his, and
Yeah.
this one was even as sharp in many aspects. To you, from 1 to 4 stars, what would be your rating?
Definitely 4 stars. This film, I think, developed characters really well. And
Yeah,
if listeners, you always hear us say that because that's the beauty about film. You have to develop characters within this confine of time,
it's
and you have to
essential.
have great. Yeah, it's essential. You have to have great writing ability, and when you do that, and you may say, "Oh, it's a 3 hour movie," but in I've seen 3 hour movies and characters has not moved from the point A to point B. So to be able to do this and have excellent writing is pivotal for movies to be a 4 star. So they developed characters really well. I think they had some heavy hitters, obviously Brad Pitt, Christopher Watts, even
Or allow
Daniel
me,
Bro.
or,
Yeah.
or
And then
allow
they
me. Yo, that scene kills me.
Oh my goodness, man. And then they had some other you had Michael Fansbender, and then you have Melanie Lauren, who's a great actress, and then
Yes,
Diane Kruger, who is a great actress. Then you
absolutely.
have Samuel L. Jackson doing the voiceovers and the narrating.
You know he's got
So
to be in. You know he's got to be in.
gotta
It's just
be in it.
something.
But 4 stars, shot well, great actors, character development, great plot, great dialogue, the slow play and the patience to let the scene develop. That's pivotal in trying to adapt characters to the scene. And I mean, you can, yeah. 4 stars. Let me get ahead of
For
myself.
sure.
Yeah.
Um, but before we get to favorite character, Christopher Waltz was exceptional in this film, and he's had an exceptional career. He is a master of just smart acting, high level
Hmm.
acting, the body language, all the elements he has to have in it to like make it seem convincing of who he is. Like, what stood out to you about him in this film, and just what he's been able to do with his career?
He's so versatile. And I hate to use that word because he's more than versatility. And it's his ability to bring these characters because Quentin Tarantino took a while to cast that role, and he came to Christopher Waltz to bring that role out. And then obviously they sat down and they talked about it, and Christopher Waltz even added a tidbits of what the character should do and his reactions to certain things. That pipe wasn't in the script at first until he talked to him. He was like, "Yeah, I should pull out a pipe too, even though I know I don't smoke a pipe." So it's
Yeah,
those little nuances of character development and just yeah, man, his ability to bring characters alive. And Jamie Foxx said it himself. He was like, man, just watching him on Django, and his ability to, it's like him just taking out a piece of paper. It's the
mm,
way you do it. It's the way you say certain things. Is to be able to bring that character out even more and to just not just read off the paper or remember the words off the paper. So Christopher Waltz does a great job, even in Green Hornet when he played
oh yeah,
uh Rednowski. Like even that, bro. Like it's just a weird how he could bring how you switch it on. Like it could be like lovely, and then just
and then just switches back to serious.
yeah, bro.
That's
That's
that's that's
hard to
such a tough
do.
skill.
Yeah, it's such a tough skill. So he's very talented actor, and you can see it through every film he's been in. So
Yeah, definitely. And now getting to favorite character, I would go with Shosanna Dreyfus because she was a very sharp, quick thinker who really had a masterful plan of
yeah,
relocating to Paris and changing her name, and was really one of the most pivotal characters throughout. And maybe not the most one, but definitely had a big part to play of showing the film and having all the characters and screen people in motion. To you
hmm
overall, who was your favorite character?
Hans Landa, the Jew
Mm.
hunter, the his character, you can tell how smart he was, and it made me feel like even in the character development, why he let her get away twice. And I'm thinking like, and that was the demise of the general leaders and the so-called hero and Frederick Zoller. So it was just interesting. Like you let all this happen. You're smart, this guy. You have a plan. Even him coming out with a plan, like I want them dead, but I know this is the only way I can get out of this
Yeah.
and be on the safe side. I mean, he didn't get away all the way because he had the the thing in the middle of his forehead. But his character was so pivotal. He was so smart. So just like you
Yeah,
don't know what he's gonna do
at
because
all.
you
So
see how he
unpredictable.
strangled. Yeah, you saw he strangled Bridget Von Hammersmart. I didn't think he was going to strangle her. I thought he was going to like have her like hanged or something. But
Yeah,
then
he
you
did it
go to
himself. He's like, I'm doing this
yeah,
myself.
like
Like, dang.
"Rah!" And you look at Shoshana, he knew who she was,
Yeah,
and it was just like
from the jump,
from the jump, he was
he was
like,
playing with her. He was just playing with her.
huh,
He's like, I'm just gonna give
okay,
it to her.
exactly. He never like, I'll see you later, Shoshana, Shoshana. She was ready too,
She
boy.
was running, with the running man. And now get into most memorable scenes I had. The Lapidite Dairy Farm. Also, Lieutenant Alda Rain assembles the crew. The Bear Jews introduction. Shoshana has lunch
Yes.
with Orlando. The name
Mm-hmm.
game. The face of Jewish vengeance, and finally the alternate death of Adolf Hitler. To
Mm-hmm.
you, what were some of the top memorable scenes for this one?
Every last one of those you just mentioned. Obviously, you always pick the great ones. The one when Lieutenant Archer Hickox and all of them, he did the wrong finger, and
Oh
I
yeah,
was like, oh, they smooth with it. Okay, and then he messed up. He was like, oh, okay, You definitely lying. Now I believed you at first, not fully, but that scene and then that whole just everybody died, and then Bridget shot the old buddy who just had a son. That scene, the last scene when they shot the dude and cut Hans Landa's head, that was a good scene. So, what are you doing? You thought you should go scot free? All right, brother.
All right.
You gonna remember what you are, bro. You're not gonna escape away this scot free. And then the scene. Did we talk about this when they first meet Hans Landa in the theater? And
Oh,
it and then talking about what you just said earlier. He was like what did he say?
Gorlami.
Yeah,
Gorlami.
And he was saying this other stuff as well. I was like, bro, this they caught. He already know anyways because he's found her shoe in the
Yeah.
little tavern or whatever. But those scenes and other scenes were really good. It's a bunch of scenes you can take from. Even the scene where Shoshana gets killed by Frederick Zoller. And I think that I was like, why would she check on him? Bro, I would have
Oh yeah.
still
Yeah.
kept
I'm not
shooting him.
doing. Yeah. For
Yeah, I'm
sure.
not about to end it. He
Why
just
did
turns
she
over.
check
Bow,
on
bow,
him?
bow, bow,
Why
bow.
did she? Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
He
I was
was
like,
ready.
don't do it.
He was
Yeah,
ready. He
I
was
knew he
like,
wasn't dead. He was just like, all right, she naive. She think, and
she
then she's
crazy.
watching the movie, and then she results back to her normal self, and that's what got her killed. Like, bro, I would have shot him in the head, baby. Boom, boom.
I'm not going to check on you at all.
Nah,
I'm not doing that
that
at all.
man killed how many people?
And you think
They
he's
got
going
a
to die that quick?
right. They got a movie outside with him in it. He started his
Nah.
own movie.
Yeah, we're not checking, buddy. We're not
I'm
checking.
double tapping. You understand me? Then I'm throwing something on top of his head after I shoot him in the head to make sure he's dead.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get into most memorable quotes I had. Let's discuss the prospect of ending the war tonight.
Yeah.
Also, if the shoe fits. I, on the other hand, love my unofficial title precisely because I've earned it. That's a bingo. Also, fighting in a basement offers a lot of difficulties. You get that for killing Jews and the Brad Pitt line about Gorlami, and that entire
Mm-hmm.
dialogue, that funny humor. That's the balance of a Quentin Tarantino movie where you can still add in that humor to an element, but before the movie hits that climax. To
Yes.
you, what were some of the memorable quotes in this one?
Um. I just keep going back to the last scene. He was like, I put a what's gun for that man's life. He was like, nah, that you made a deal with them. They don't need him. He was like, you'll be shot for this. He was like, nah, more like chewed out. I've been chewed out
Oh yeah,
before.
I've been pretty. That's
That was
hilarious.
so funny. And then the when they were hand tied, he was talking about the one you was just saying. He was like, oh, so you are the Apache, whatever, and the little man. He was like, that's what they refer me to me, the little man. It's like, and I'm so surprised by your stature. I thought you were gonna be a what? That's the humor
That's the
in
humor.
it. That's the humor in it. That whole Westcom. It's like did I say that right? He was so shivering, he just went back to it. I'm like, bro, that
Bro, that's
shift
so tough.
change of emotion is tough. But that was the one that stood out the most. And then the origami and all.
Gorlami. He
Going
said it
live.
three times. He said it three times.
And they kept doing this. Oh my
um,
goodness.
and now get into what did you like the most about the storyline. To me, just how it focused on three different characters and chapters of the story arc, plus turning the World War II element to just more of an epic film progression and didn't settle for complacency. Because, like we said, there have been longer films that got complacent. This one did not at all. It kept up the pace and the intensity throughout it. To you, like, what particular element of the storyline did you like the most?
The that it was an alternate ending to the war.
Yeah.
That they utilized the film within the film. That the guy who transcended German film is one of the higher ups in Hitler's um, um, brigade, or what do you want to call it. I love how they used that, and then they died in the film. They died at the theater. They died like Abraham Lincoln. I thought that was funny. I don't know if he tried to do that, but I thought it was very interesting that yeah, that was it was different. It was alternate ending, so you could do so many ways with it. But I love how it ended it. People on fire, people getting shot, and they left those two idiots alive in the theater.
Of all the people.
Um, but overall, I love how it was so many names, so many stories within the story, like
Yeah.
a little Apache, the dude that was knocking people head with the bat, the Jew bear or something like that. Um,
Hmm.
it was so much outside of just the ambiance of letting the scenes open up and allow it to just indulge. But I love how it's like like more than just the regular script, allowing an alternate ending to be funny as well as uh, plausible. Because Hitler
Yeah.
did go to the theater a
He
lot,
did.
so it was just like they did their research and the alternate ending made sense. So yeah, because you can obviously there's so many ways you could kill Hitler if you wrote about it, but you did it in the theater and one of his things that he really loved. So I don't know, it was just interesting that they
For
did it
sure.
that way.
And before we get to our last topic, the this I think this was the second Tarantino film that Brad Pitt had been a part of, and obviously like he's been in so many great films. But what do you think? Kind of makes him kind of have chemistry with Tarantino films because he was in also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and even in
Yeah.
this one, he has a great performance. Do you feel as though it's a kind of a mutual respect of, hey, Tarantino is one of the best directors, and I can kind of like immerse myself into a different role that I'm not usually a part of.
Yeah, I think Tarantino has a great way of writing characters and writing for people that he's normally used. And
Yeah,
I think in each character is going to be different. And it's going to allow you to be versatile in those roles and bring out different angles of yourself as an individual actor. And I think it's going to challenge you. I think all the characters that Tarantino writes are challenging. And that's why it took him so long to get the character of Christopher Waltz, what he played Lanza, to be cast. So I think I think actors are jumping at the bit. That's why Samuel L. Jackson's like, man, I be trying to. It was one movie I didn't get into. He couldn't write me in, but because it's how he challenges you and his characters that he writes for challenge you to be a better actor and to
yeah,
be outside your comfort zone. And Jamie Foxx said it himself. He's like, man, I went into this way. He was like, pull me in another room. It's like, bro, I knew this was going to be happening. Like, just be this, do this. And it worked out the way that Tarantino saw it in his head. So it
yeah,
challenges you to not go in a certain way, but just stick to the confines of the character because it's going to guide you to be just to open you up a little bit. So I think with every character he does, actors love to be challenged, and Tarantino as a director is going to challenge you.
for sure. And I'll get into our last topic 10 years from now. Do you still think it'll be watchable and intriguing? I definitely think it will because, like we said, when you have a film this long, but you have the sharp dialogue and humor, and it's just an entertaining movie to watch. Like it's one that's you're really even if you're a casual movie watcher and you're not maybe as familiar with Tarantino films, I think this is one that still draws you in. It has that humor that I think
Mm,
most audiences are gonna like,
yeah.
and just that edge of your seat, like that basement shootout. Everybody kind of, I think
Oh
when people
my
watch that was just
goodness.
like, yeah, that's another scene I forgot to mention, but that was one you were just wondering how is this going to end up, like how are things going to play out, and I think it just has that captivating nature to it. But 10 years from now, how do you think this will, be viewed as watchability and intriguing?
Definitely rewatchable. Just the beauty of obviously where they're shooting at in Germany and Paris and all these places,
Right.
France, all these places, and just how it was shot. The if the slow play development allowing the scenes to take his form and then it cuts into just some gritty stuff like we talked about the opening scene how a slow play of dialogue and then they
Yeah.
shot up the house and he let somebody go and he could have killed her and then it cuts back to him letting her go again. So it's something there because it makes you think, why does he keep letting her go?
Yeah.
Character like, and then it makes you think. So I think this film doesn't makes you think. Is you glued to the screen? Yeah, it's long, but it's a beautiful movie. I think, and then it's a Tarantino film. It's one of his babies. So if you're a fan of Tarantino, you'll go back. And then Brad Pitt was like stupid funny. His accent was just like dumb stuff, stupid funny the whole time. I'm like, I can't picture him talking like this in
That's what I'm
normal life.
saying.
So Nah, it's definitely rewatchable.
Definitely. Where do you think it's like? Where would you, like in terms of like the because there's obviously like Hall of Fame Tarantino movies like Pulp Fiction,
Yeah.
Jackie Brown, Django Unchained, the both Kill Bills,
Yes.
Reservoir Dogs as well. Like, is there
Mm-hmm.
like where do you rank this among like the best? Okay,
10.
so
Because all the movies you name are better
they're
than this
better.
one.
They're better. Yeah, yeah. You do have to.
Both Kill Bills are like 5 and 7. They're top 10. And then you
Yeah,
have Pulp Fiction, I think should be like 1 or 2. Django's top 5. Reservoir Dogs is like 8. Like it's so many of his
Jackie Brown.
film.
Jackie Brown is. I
Jackie
was gonna put
Brown
that.
was really
I
good
love that movie.
film. Oh, and I even have Desperado in the top 10, and that's
Okay.
yeah. And then you have Dust Till Dawn is a good one
Oh
that
yeah.
was underrated. So
He's
he
got
has a
so many good
lot of
movies. He's got a
films.
catalog. He's got a catalog, man.
Yeah, this was good. I think it's top. I think it's number 10. It's stamped at number 10 because, but all those other films were. I mean, I don't know. It's just it's hard to put this one
You know what I mean? And it's
in front of those.
look.
Yeah.
We said it was 4 stars, but that just shows you how stacked Tarantino's catalog is. Because you got
Yes.
a lot of movies to pass if you want to be in that,
Mm-hmm.
and this it's just tough to
Because Pulp
surpass
Fiction is a 4 star, Reservoir Dogs is 3.5, 4 star, Django is a 4 star, Jackie Brown's a 4 star. Like it's he got some hits, man. It's hard to put anything in that top 5. It has to be like clean, blameless.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, I think this is like number 10.
Definitely. Well, that wraps it up for tonight. I'm your host, Quentin Burns, on my counterpart, Savon Morris. This has been Full Scope. See you later.